Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Sunday, March 28th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up having a pretty poor day and then going 0-2. Lost the play from 2 days ago with Syracuse +7 at -110 on BetMGM. And then ended up losing the play from last night with the Sacramento Kings -6.5 at -110 on Fox Bet. We got very good numbers on both. Kings, I believe, went from 6.5 to around 9, and yet only won by 1 point. In Syracuse, we got 7. Pretty much closed at 6.5, so we ended up getting a good number there. But didn't really matter. Houston ended up going on a couple of runs. Seemed like whenever Syracuse tried to make the game close, Houston just answered with a pretty backbreaking 3. And then Sacramento really just had I don't want to say a no-show, but Sacramento definitely struggled against Cleveland, and Sexton ended up playing. But either way, I'll look at the bounce back here on Sunday. Before the play of the day, we're going to be looking at a matchup in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be taking place at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time between Creighton and Gonzaga. And this play might surprise you. We're going to be taking the under in this matchup, and the best line available is under 159, -113 on DraftKings. This time recording of 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time. A couple reasons why I like the under in the spot. First of all, people automatically assume that since these teams have great offenses, they are very good over teams. However, that's really not been the case so far this season. Creighton is 16-13 to the under. Meanwhile, Gonzaga is 13-14. So both teams, even though they do have very solid offenses throughout the entire season, as for the markets, they've been pretty spot on towards their totals, with the exception of Creighton, who definitely has been an under machine over the last couple of games that it has played. But I'll get into that in a little while. Now, it is worth mentioning that both of these teams have not played since March 22nd. And now some of you might be wondering, well, they might be rested. They're going to come out firing. It is worth remembering that yesterday, with a similar story, those teams did not play for the span of a couple of days. The unders went 4-0 yesterday because of the fact that you have to wonder if some potential rust is going to play a factor, maybe a feeling out process. And you saw both teams potentially come out nervous for all 4 games because all 4 unders ended up hitting. Looking at Creighton over the last couple of games, Creighton has been a very good under team lately. Each of Creighton's last 5 games have not reached 144 points. This total is 159. Of course, Gonzaga is much better offensively than the teams they've been playing against, but Creighton has really been a very solid defensive team and a pretty underwhelming offensive team over the last couple of games. Creighton has allowed less than 64 points in 4 of its last 5 games, and Creighton has also scored less than 73 points in each of its last 4 games. So Creighton's been a dead under so far in the NCAA tournament and even in the Big East tournament. And now they face Gonzaga, who's also a very solid defensive team. While both offenses are still very good, the defenses are extremely underrated. Gonzaga ranks 9th in defense efficiency according to KenPom. Creighton ranks 32nd. And if you look at the actual just matchup in itself, Gonzaga, of course, loves to play fast, and if Creighton plays fast with them, they're going to lose. It's just a matter of fact that Gonzaga is too good, Gonzaga has too many weapons, and Creighton, if they want to win this game, has to slow the pace. It's the only way that they're going to end up getting it done. The question is if Creighton's going to be stubborn enough to just keep it going up-tempo, or if they're going to try to slow it down. If you've seen how Creighton's played in the last couple of games, they have definitely relied more on some half-court offensive sets, and I do think that they will do whatever it takes to force Gonzaga into some long shot clocks, and that might lead to a little bit of a slower-paced game than what people are expecting. But looking at some trends for this matchup here, the under is 6-1 in Creighton's last 7 NCAA tournament games, and the under is 4-0-1 in Creighton's last 5 games versus a team with a winning percentage above 60%. So, once again, Creighton's been a very, very solid under team with its inability to score efficiently and its very solid defense over the last couple of games. Gonzaga, even though this team's offense is the best offense in the entire country, the defense has been very good, and I do think that Creighton will try to negate it by forcing Gonzaga into playing in the half court, which should eat up some valuable time. If you have actually looked at the line movement in this game, there has already been some movement towards the under. Line opened up at around 159, mostly down to 158. I do see a couple of 158.5s, but DraftKings still is 159 with just 3 cents of juice. I'll take the free half point, free point, depending where you shop around. But at the end of the day, I think Gonzaga will probably score in the low 80s. The question is, do I think that Creighton's going to be able to score enough to get it over? I don't. I think this game will probably finish in the low 150s, probably went somewhere in the realm of 84-70 or so. And I simply think that 159 is too high, as this game should go under. But other than that, though, that's been Scott's Selections. Good luck to all of you in your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.